I think that I portrayed self-awareness whenever I would pick up the neighborhood trash in middle school because I would do it really often, and the neighbors would always walk by and wave and say hello, and I was really close with them, and I think that it just felt a really good community, and I felt like they were really appreciative of what I was doing, but I also really enjoyed doing it. So it was just like a consistent cycle of just a clean neighborhood, but also making connections at the same time. So I liked that.
I think that every week I tried to do some self-reflection, just journal, reflect on my goals, and reflect on both academic goals and personal goals, and just write it down, because I feel like sometimes you can get lost in the day-to-day of things, and so writing things down, having a long-term plan is definitely beneficial to understand where you're going.
I think when she started understanding the why I felt hurt by what she has said, she took a step back and was really understanding, and started realizing that she may not see everything that I see exactly the same. And I think she heard me how and how my life has obstacles that her life might not have. So she was very empathetic about listening to me and reevaluating the situation and her and my differences and privileges.
My friends and I made this STEM education nonprofit, and that required a lot of empathy, especially because we were targeting low-income individuals, underrepresented individuals who I cannot necessarily relate with. And so really understanding where they're coming from, their stories, their circumstances, was a huge part of doing that, and it required a lot of self-education as well in order to be effective.
I suggested that we volunteer at one of I think it's a food collection thing that Cornell is doing, or one of the groups that Cornell is doing, and I got an email about it, and I thought it would be a good idea to do that. And other people have other ideas, and those ideas have been more popular. And so it doesn't really matter whose idea gets picked, as long as we're helping the community.
The example that I can think of right now is me doing research, because that is definitely a time where I know nothing, and I really need to be there and be super present and be listening to everyone around me, whether that's my assigned PhD student or the PI, or just observing what the other undergraduate students are doing in the lab. So that's definitely a time where I've had to follow other people's examples.
Yeah, I want to say, the summer of my junior into senior year of high school, I did a lot of community service with the Westchester Parks Foundation, and we went through a lot of the parks in the county, and we just cleaned them up, did various, works of community service, such as mainly focused on beautifying the green spaces in the community.
I think an example of service for me is back at home. I come from a underrepresented and underprivileged community, so I try to give back to them through tutoring or whatever I can, and just try to open gateways to elite colleges.
Currently, I'm on a team where we're building housing units for homeless people in the Pine Ridge Reservation, and I'm working to provide the heating of the home. And it's a pretty big service project because, we're hoping to provide for the Pine Ridge community.
I'm not sure exactly what her position is for engineering learning initiatives, but basically my boss, Celia, whenever we do our trainings, she's really, really articulate. I don't know how she does it, but she is very, very well spoken whenever she speaks in those trainings. I don't know how she does it. And also the guest speakers that she brings, they're so good. Whenever they have their lessons and they're talking, they're looking around the room, and I don't know how they're not nervous at all, but they're just speaking right off the top of their head. I don't know how they do it so well, but yeah, those people really stand out whenever there's guest speakers in sort of any setting.
I teach a class of middle school kids, and I teach them how to code. And yeah, throughout my life I've just been involved in a lot of volunteering, whether it be at the science center or anywhere else.
in the global health case competition that happened like a couple months back, you had to like break down like a plan for this global health scenario and answer these questions in a way that the judges would understand and not use a whole bunch of difficult jargon. So yeah,